You all know who I am. I'm Jennifer Lynn. I'm the Deputy Director of the Emergency Medical Services Authority, and I welcome you to today's show. And thanks for being here. And it's Happy EMS Week. You all know that? Welcome to everyone, our awardees, our guests, and our sponsors. Thank you for joining us to honor the achievements of our colleagues. We are celebrating this progress of excellence at the home of the world famous Engines 51 and Squad 51. This museum, as you saw downstairs, chronicles the history of EMS, beginning in the 1960s. With Dr. Walter Brown at Daniel Memorial Hospital, who pioneered the concept of coronary care rescue ambulance. Did you all see that ambulance downstairs? Was that not cool? That is a new artifact here at the museum. The LA County Fire Department just put the final touches on that this year, and I believe this might be the first public event that got to see her downstairs. So I hope you got to see a picture with some 50 seconds. Also, at the same time as that coronary care rescue ambulance, Dr. J. Michael Crowley launched a program at Harvard General Hospital that utilized firefighters to respond to medical emergencies. Who would have figured that? Who we honored both in 2019 in San Francisco. Today, this is the first in-person awards ceremony since then. So we are really happy to see all of you here today. So after demonstrating the model, on July 14, 1970, the Wedgewood County Paramedic Act, which is quite important, was signed into law by Governor Ronald Reagan, and the first paramedics were officially certified. In 1972, the show Emergency, produced by Robert Snaker, was first televised. This series raised public awareness of the paramedic program, and as a result, such programs sprang up throughout the country. And I bet many folks who grew up watching that television show, and it inspired them to join the profession. Are there folks that are fans of the show Emergency? Yeah. I grew up with my father, who was a volunteer firefighter for the Fairfield Fire Department, and I watched at dinner time Emergency and Adam 12 back to back every day. Every day. Very good. So 10 years later, in 1980, the Emergency Medical Service and Emergency Medical Care Personnel Act, SB 125, was signed into law mandating state responsibility for the emergency medical services by designation of a local EMS agency. And EMSA was born. So thank you. That's where we work. Very important. But today, there are over 89,000, so I'm going to say a bunch of numbers here, you guys can write them down if you'd like. There are over 89,000 qualified EMS professionals, comprised of 64,692 EMTs, 111 advanced medics, and 24,186 licensed paramedics that pay dues to EMSA. It's very important. If you are one, once have been one, or play one on TV, please raise your hand. Who's an EMT, AMT, or paramedic, or was one at some point? Congratulations. These fine professionals respond to, here's some more numbers, 5.6 million, I'm going to say that again, 5.6 million response calls annually with 302 ambulance zones under the oversight of 33 local EMS agencies in 58 counties in California. Can I get some respect here, EMS agencies? A lot of calls. All right. And since 2007, here at the California EMS Awards, we honor those who serve our mission of health and safety with excellence. But also let's take a moment today to memorialize those who serve with distinction but are no longer with us, whether they died in the line of duty or from cumulative physical or emotional stress for their duties or a life lived well. Please dedicate a moment of silence to those who died. Thank you. And I'd like to thank former director Richard Watson, who developed this program and leadership, along with former Chief Deputy Director Dan Smiley. He's right where he's at, right there. Maybe some smiling face. This event. If it weren't for their leadership, we would not have this great event that we kind of say is the only thing that, the single thing that EMSA does that everybody loves. So, we thank you for coming and we thank this long-held tradition of recognizing our brand. So thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce Chief Deputy Director Louis Krupke to come up and say a few welcoming words instead of, and not instead of, but in her stead, Acting Director Elizabeth Bassinet. Okay, well, just quickly about Acting Director Elizabeth Bassinet was appointed to EMSA on November 15th, 2021. In addition to her appointment, she still maintains her current position as Assistant Secretary with the California Health and Human Services Agency and assumed that role June 1, 2020, or during the COVID-19 response. And actually, she's still doing that. So she's still doing two jobs. She could not be here with us today. She is advocating on EMS behalf and the Senate Budget Committee hearings. So Louis Krupke has graciously accepted some time to go ahead and say a few words.
First and foremost, I want to let you know that I can do it. You did ask me to thank everyone who took the time to be here in celebration. Many of you sacrificed so much to serve others with great uncertainty, personal risk. I want to say thank you. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your tireless response over the last 2 years. For every holiday, anniversary, birthday, or meal, we miss your loved ones and family. Today we honor you. I also want to take a moment to thank our board. Today would not have been possible without you. For those of you who do not know, Jennifer is accepted in the Department of Investigative Relations as the Executive Director of External Affairs and Communications and Outreach. Jennifer came to EMSA in 2013 as the Deputy Director of Policy, Legislature, and External Affairs, eventually because writing for some of our administration and many other projects. Her dedication to EMSA and her passion for all things EMS has remained forefront in everything she has accomplished throughout her time. On a personal note, I have to say that I very literally would not be at EMSA today without Jay. Nevertheless, the governor decided to promote her Jennifer's contribution to EMS in California is long commitment. She's a friend, author, a teacher, and a role model in many ways. Words fall short when trying to express how much we will miss her. I hope that all of you will take a moment to congratulate her and wish her luck for the next day. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Philip Miller, the Chair of the California Commission on EMS, who will assist with the awards. Dr. Miller represents the California.
Doctor in the house? Oh, there you are.
Dr. Miller represents the California chapter of the American College of Emergency Physicians as the Chair of the California EMS Commission and as the Commissioner of the Los Angeles County EMS Commission. He is the National Director of the Global Medical Response Pacific Region, the UCLA Center for Pre-Hospital Care, and both UCLA and Antelope Valley Hospital and Chase Hospital. He is the Medical Team Manager of the FEMA Urban Search and Rescue Team CA EMS USA Chief and serves on the EMS Medical Director Association of the California Paramedic Scope of Practice Committee. Dr. Miller is a outside clinical professor of emergency medicine at the David Jeffrey School of Medicine at UCLA, adjunct professor of nursing at the UCLA School of Nursing, and an attending emergency physician at both groundbreaking UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles and at Antelope Valley Hospital in the United States, California.
Dr. Emma will be back. We'll be smiling for 56 times. Thank you both. Thank you for the kind words. And I will miss so much about EMSA and this field. I've always said that I will certainly chime in and give my 2 cents as we move on. But it's been a great ride. All of the things that you do. I don't have a medical background. It's amazing, and I thank each and every one of you. So thank you so much. And I also want to thank our sponsors. We could not offer this event without the generous support from all of our sponsors. This is not a state-run, being funded event. We garner support. I beg for dollars, and all these kind folks of our sponsors have been so gracious to support this. So I'm going to formally acknowledge our sponsors, and I would like somebody or multiple folks from that organization to stand and be recognized. Someone from AMR GMR, the presenting sponsor of the platinum level. I see people pointing to each other. By the way, here we go. Also, a presenting sponsor, the California Healthcare Foundation, who is not able to be here today, but we all know their generous support of many projects in healthcare and EMS. And I believe we have CareStar here to accept and help present on their behalf, so thank you so much. As a gold sponsor, we have the CareStar Foundation. So we have 2 here and Linda from CareStar. And our silver sponsors, we have Medic Ambulance. So Sister Kirsten, smile away. We also have the California Paramedic Foundation. We've got these 2 gentlemen here. Thank you. And we have the California Ambulance Association, also a silver sponsor. Mr. Lawrence? Yes, thank you. Bronze sponsors. We Alpha One could not be here, but their generous support gave us our photographer, Steve Sperlin, who is also an EMC. So thank you, Alpha One. Life Assist. Do we have anybody from Life Assist here? Crowdfunders, they sponsored the challenge coins on your table. So if you flip them over, you will see their logo. That would be you. Anybody? Anybody want to sponsor that? Thank you, Life Assist. Also, this is the Iron Man of the California EMS Awards, Found Medical. Thank you, Brian. And new to the table is Rich Crest Regional Hospital. And I do have to note that our contributing sponsor, Northern California Fire Chiefs Association, sponsored our use of downstairs of the museum. So that was very, very nice. So thank you to North Cal Fire Chiefs Association for the museum. I would also like to thank the 7 members for the nomination review committee. We had, help me out with over 100 nominations. Yep, yes, over 100 nominations. That's a lot of papers. That's a lot of papers to review. And for those that are here, Travis Guzman, where are you? He is the Emergency Medical Services Administrator Association of California President Extraordinaire. Where are you? There you are. Dr. Nicole Fox of the Emergency Medical Directors Association of California was able to be here, and she scored through all those. We have Mr. Jimmy Pearson from Ambulance, who you met before. Thank you. Also Sergeant Ron Wilson for the California Highway Patrol. He helps us out too. Art Sia, the representative from the EMS at large. He's an educator and also works on the line as a paramedic. And we have Deputy Thomas John Domenico, and he's also a commissioner on our commission on EMS, and he's right over there. Former award winner, I might add. And we have Ray Gate from the California Fire Chiefs Association. So that's the lineup that went through all these and thank all of you who are here. Okay, and make sure, this is my time before I hand it over to Ken Gray, who will be your MC extraordinaire for the rest. Make sure you take lots of pictures. There is a backdrop with a bunch of EMSA logos. We've always wanted that as your wallpaper for your Zoom calls. So go ahead and do that. So please, make sure you capture this moment in time. It's very special to us and it's special to you. So, without further ado, Ken Gray, who's about 6 feet taller than me, he's going to stand out to the back of this riser, is going to carry the show.
Okay, here we go. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, our departing Deputy Director of Legislative Regulatory and Internal Affairs and Enforcement, probably the longest title in the state. Many of you have been in touch with her during this process and over her many years of service. This is her favorite event of the year, and so it's fitting that she leads and so with this big party. Good afternoon, I am Ken Gray, and the first thing I'm going to do is apologize for any names I may butcher. If it's longer than 8 characters long, that means both first and last name, you should have seen me before we started. Sorry. Hi, I'm here to speak for the remainder of today's ceremony. I'd like to take a moment and welcome everyone to today's ceremony. Since 2007, This awards program has gained greater participation and support with each passing year, and that has to do with all of you. Our country and state have continued to undergo great sorrow with mass casualty incidents, environmental disasters, and now adding to our list pandemics, which continue to challenge the EMS system like never before. However, when called to duty, our coordinated systems prevail due to our professional EMS personnel and the collaboration that is built into our mutual aid system. So I thank all of you. Today we have a moment to recognize the best of the best. Those who rose above the everyday heroics all emergency medical service professionals already perform. Thank you for joining us and recognizing this year's recipients of the California EMS Awards. Now I'd like to have all of the California Commission EMS members who are present to stand and be recognized. Do we have anybody? We've got one! Finally, before we start the real ceremony, a bit of housekeeping. Today's ceremony is scheduled until 2 o'clock this afternoon. The restrooms are outside and just around the corner over here. And we're recording with that camera right there, and it's got a really good microphone. Okay, here's how we're going to handle today. Take a moment to describe the process to present today's awards. Some award winners will be called up individually and some will be presented in groups. As I announce each recipient, they should stand and walk to the stage. I'll read some information about the awardees as they are walking up to join us. Additionally, some of today's award recipients have sent us videos following being notified. There are videos, these videos are those who were, and then also for those who were unable to join us today, and videos from individuals who are with us today. So we'll have a little mix and match. This is something we tried out last year and really liked it. So when recipients arrive here on the stage, Dr. Erner, who will be coming and joining you in a moment, will present them with a medal and a picture. And will be taken at the center stage. That's your too, Steve. Jennifer will give you your certificate. And for groups, after you receive your award, please wait near the end of the stage. Thank you. So we can take a group picture before you return to your seat. Finally, at the end of the ceremony, we ask all award recipients to come to the stage for a group picture. There will also be an opportunity to take pictures with the photographer downstairs once we are done here. Now, the first category. And the person who walked. Well, theoretically, it's water. The Medal of Valor recognizes an EMT for acts of personal valor or heroism in delivering of emergency medical care, which results in the saving of a life under extreme conditions and or extraordinary circumstances. Our first recipient is Deputy Daniel Aylman. Is being recognized for his courage and quick thinking while rappelling 50 feet straight to safety a mountain biker who was suspended upside down over a cliff. Deputy Aylman and his helicopter team were dispatched to an area of Angeles National Forest where a man was hanging face first off the vertical cliff after having lost control of his mountain bike and falling 50 feet. Recognizing the draft from the helicopter would have knocked the biker off the cliff, Aylman maneuvered down the bike trail where two of the man's friends had secured a small cord to his leg. Deputy Aylman rappelled 50 feet down the cliff and was able to get the man into a safety harness and then was able to secure the biker. Both men descended to a safer place where the helicopter was able to extract them. Biker was then treated for minor injuries and released to the Los Angeles County Fire Department personnel. I believe we have video.
Hi, my name is Deputy Alamon. I work for Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Special Enforcement Bureau. I've been a paramedic on Air Rescue 5. Been on for about 32 years, and I would like to thank everybody who nominated me to become a Medal of Valor recipient. I would like to thank my Air Rescue 5 team members, my training, my faith, and also I would like to really thank the citizens up on top that helped me conduct this rescue, my anchors, if you could say. They really helped out. Had I not had them there, it would have been really tough and it would have been a hard rescue to complete. Once again, I would like to thank everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I get to do what I have a graduate degree in, which is projecting some theater. So hopefully all of you can hear me in the back row. Next to join us on stage is Mark Prazara from American Medical Response. For heroic actions in rescuing, treating, and transporting an unconscious driver with life-threatening injuries who was thrown into a waterway following a motor vehicle accident. Then in a separate incident, breaking a window and using a fire extinguisher to rescue and treat an unconscious person trapped inside their vehicle after an accident. First incident was in April of 2021. Paramedic Prazara responded to a motor vehicle accident into a waterway without primary fire or rescue services. Although the driver had self-extracted, they were subsequently struck by a car and thrown back into the waterway. Risking his own safety, he entered the water to rescue the patient using only a flotation ring and rope. After pulling the unconscious patient from the waterway, he then treated and transported the patient to the Regional Trauma Center. Then in November of 2021, he responded to a motor vehicle accident, finding the vehicle upside down on fire with an unconscious person trapped and high voltage power lines down around the vehicle. Mark used the fire extinguisher to push back the flames before breaking out a side window and pulling the patient out of the vehicle. Power lines down restricted gurney access, so he then fireman dragged the patient approximately 50 feet so he could assess and treat the patient who had multi-system trauma prior to transport to a regional trauma center.
Hey, my name is Mark Prozer. I'm a paramedic with 17 County AMR. I just wanted to thank California EMS for recognizing the hardworking people of 17 County. I just also want to thank all my supervisors and my coworkers and the surrounding public safety agencies that have been supportive of me throughout this, throughout my career. Thank you.
Next up is the EMS Cross. The EMS Cross recognizes a uniformed EMT who by act and deed represents the most outstanding achievement or accomplishment in EMS over an extended period of time. Our EMS Cross recipient is Sean Ormsby of American Medical Response. He is being awarded the EMS Cross for his 25 years of leadership and selfless dedication to serving the Placer County community and selflessly deploying whenever needed. As an EMT, Sean serves the Placer County community and has made multiple deployments wherever there is a need. He was previously the fire chief of Placer County, and he has also been a strike team leader handling managerial tasks. His leadership and expertise played a massive role in the education of the next generation of providers. Ormsby has missed being with his family time and time again, putting himself at extreme risk to be part of some major impacts in our industry. Congratulations. And now our next category, the Distinguished Service Award, recognized as an individual for distinguished service or achievement affecting statewide EMS over an extended period of time. B.J. Bartleson, former Vice President of Nursing and Clinical Services at the California Hospital Association. Sherry Lowe with CHA will accept her award on B.J.'s behalf. B.J. lives in Maui. For her commitment and innovative leadership within the EMS community, B.J. Bartleson provided leadership in developing, communicating, and implementing CHA policy relating to nursing, emergency services, trauma, and medication safety. She is recognized statewide and nationally as a nurse leader for more than 40 years of experience as chief nurse, executive, educator, researcher, clinician, manager, and expert in multiple areas of acute patient care management and nursing practice. BJ was an active and contributing member to many EMSA work groups, including the STEMI, EMS plans, and community paramedicine regulations group, as well as being the facilitator for the workshop that developed the toolkit to reduce ambulance patient offload delays in the emergency department. She served as the 2010 Association of California Nurse Leaders President and was on the board of the American Organization of Nurse Executives for more than 10 years. She has also served as the CHA Board of Trustees and the American Hospital Association Regional Policy Board.
Hello, EMS friends and colleagues. Thank you so much for honoring me with the Distinguished Service Medal. It truly means a lot to me. I think most of you know I've retired from the California Hospital Association, and my husband and I have retired here in Maui. I'm not worried. You are in good hands with Ms. Cherie Lowe from the California Hospital Association, who will bring with you bright ideas, energy, all kinds of good things coming your way under her tutelage. Many of you have been a big part of my success, and I hate to just name a few, but I'm going to. A shout out to Dr. Howard Backer for his work with us on ambulance patient offload delays, the foundation of which still remains today. Dr. Duncan for unwavering support during COVID-19. Special thanks to Jennifer Lynn, always getting me to the right place at the right time. Thanks to the EMS docs and the EMS directors from MDAC and MSAC for again rolling up sleeves at the last minute to help me in anytime, anywhere. Cheers and thank you to Dan Birch, the Wikipedia of EMS regulations and statute, to Lou Meyer, unwavering support of community paramedicine, but most importantly, a sincere friend and colleague. Jimmy Pearson, who worked with us closely from Medic Ambulance, thank you for all your help and support. And finally, thanks to all of you for your support and perseverance in building an unprecedented emergency services system in California. Aloha, and come visit me soon. Bye.
Okay, next to come to the stage is Dan Birch, EMS Administrator for the San Joaquin County EMS Agency. For over 30 years of experience, accomplishments, local and statewide leadership within the EMS industry. Following his service in the Navy and after graduating from college, Dan worked for 6 years as a liaison to Tuolumne and Merced counties and as a medical quality improvement coordinator. He also served for 6 years as the EMS coordinator for the county of Tuolumne, overseeing all EMS operations within the county. In 2005, he was appointed the EMS administrator for San Joaquin County, and at that time, he was appointed by the Secretary of Health and Human Services and EMS Authority Director as the Regional Disaster Medical Health Coordinator for OES Region 4. Soon after joining EMS Administrators Association of California, MSAC, he served 2 terms as president. Dan was appointed by Governor Brown to the California Commission on Emergency Medical Services and reappointed in 2014 and 2017. He is also elected the EMS Commission Chairperson in 2016 and 17 and Commission Vice Chairperson in 2014, 2015, and 2019. Next up, we recognize Dr. Dave Duncan, former director of the California Emergency Medical Services Authority. For over 30 years of commitment and exemplary leadership in healthcare for the citizens of California, working collaboratively with medical directors and administrators and providing significant contributions to the field of EMS as the former medical director for CAL FIRE and director of the California EMS Authority. Dr. Duncan is an accomplished emergency medicine physician with very diverse and extensive experience. As the former medical director for CAL FIRE, he helped develop a proposal to California Department of Finance for the support of CAL FIRE EMS electronic patient care record hardware, software, and 8 positions worth $3.3 million, which will modernize EMS at CAL FIRE. On a statewide platform in California, Dr. Duncan proposed universal scope of practice for air ambulance and critical care paramedics across California and worked collaboratively with medical directors and administrators for its adoption. He has contributed significantly to fields of the EMS and also has found time to do research, publish, lecture, teach medics, and develop and patent medical devices. Dr. Dave Duncan. Next to come to the stage is Carolyn Froworth of Los Angeles County EMS Agency. We are commemorating Carolyn for more than 30 years of innovative leadership, dedication, and selflessness to the EMS community, providing managerial and administrative oversight of disaster program within LA County. In 1985, she assumed her nursing supervisor role in the emergency department at PIH Health Whittier Hospital. As the manager of the disaster services program, she and the disaster services staff managed the hospital preparedness program for LA County. She coordinated the development and the delivery of emergency planning and response training programs, as well as development of emergency response caches and response systems. A few of her major accomplishments include providing administrative oversight of disaster programs and managing the county's medical and health coordination and response as the co-manager of LA County's Medical and Health Occupation Area Coordination Programs Department of Operations Center. And I guess she couldn't join us today after all.
Kay's retired and she's back in the Midwest. That's my family.
And someone should get an award just for coming up and having to have their picture taken. Next, we would like to recognize Fred Hawkins posthumously. For over 45 years of experience and dedication advancing the EMS field, serving as a paramedic, regional manager, vice president, and the Ridgecrest Regional Hospital Director of Emergency Services. His family is here to accept his award. As an EMT and paramedic, Fred Hawkins started his career in Santa Barbara County in 1974. His career included roles as FTO preceptor, regional manager, vice president, chief operating officer, and most recently, Ridgecrest Regional Hospital Director of Emergency Services. Hawkins also served on the California Hospital Association EMS Advisory Board as a rural hospital representative. He also served on the board for the Ridgecrest Regional Hospital Foundation. He was dedicated and passionate and a phenomenal mentor to employees and colleagues. Okay, next to come to the stage is William Johnson, Ventura County EMS, for his commitment and dedication as a longtime first responder and public servant. Having served as a police officer in LA County since 1970, William Johnson retired as a lieutenant in 2008. In 1986, he became an EMT, and in 1995, he enrolled at Daniel Freeman Hospital Paramedic School. After becoming a paramedic in 1996, he went on to develop and serve as medic and team leader for the Simi Valley Police Department SWAT team. Having numerous accomplishments throughout his career, he most notably served as commissioner for the State of California EMS Commission as the governor's appointee. Whether on the police force as a paramedic or as an instructor, Mr. Johnson made helping people a priority and devoted his life and career to making a positive difference.
First, I'd like to thank those who selected me for this award, and I realize it took many people to get me to this point. I'm grateful for the Simi Valley Police Department, the SWAT team, Dr. Baxter Lyman from UCLA, Daniel Freeman Paramedic School, and most of all, American Medical Response, who allowed me to be a paramedic in Ventura County, and for my wife and family who endured that I might be a police officer paramedic.
Next up, we recognize Tom Lynch of Inland County's Emergency Medical Agency for over 45 years of leadership within the EMS community, serving as the chair of several committees and managing the EMS response to multiple incidents, including earthquakes, pandemics, fires, and floods. As an early adopter of EMS change, Tom Lynch implemented the second electronic data collection system and the third emergency medical dispatch system. He also championed the implementation of one of the first continuous quality improvement programs in the state. Tom serves as the chair of several committees and has served as the administrator for 5 local EMS agencies. He has also served as the Region 1 Regional Disaster Medical Health Coordinator during the Northridge earthquake and as the Operational Area Medical Health Coordinator for each of his local EMS agencies. Tom has managed the EMS response to multiple incidents, including all of these natural disasters, some civil unrest, and terrorist attacks. Tom could not be with us today very suddenly, unfortunately, but please join me in congratulating Tom.
Thank you, everyone, for this award. I really appreciate it. Working with all of you has been the highlight of my career, and I truly appreciate the fact that each and every one of you carry on the duties you do every day. I'd like to thank all of you and my wonderful wife, Rebecca, for supporting me throughout my career as I move into my retirement. Thank you very much. You all take care. Bye-bye.
Next, we would like to recognize Marty Marshall of Inlow Medical Center for his 35 years of leadership and commitment to excellence, establishing Inlow Medical Center's Flight Care Membership Program, serving over 25,000 members in Northern California rural area. Marty Marshall began his career as a pilot in the Army and has been an Inlow flight care pilot since 1985. Completing more than 5,000 medical flight missions, and over the past 36 years, he established the Inlow's Flight Care Membership Program in 1992. It now serves over 25,000 members in Northern California's rural areas. Recently retired from flight missions, Marshall is the Director of Emergency Services at Inlow Medical Center in Chico. Thank you. And next to the stage, Pamela Martinez of the Ontario Fire Department. For over 2 decades of dedication and selfless commitment to the EMS field, developing and directing the California Fire EMS and Disaster Conference, and ensuring quality EMS education is shared and delivered uniformly across California. She has shown her dedication to the men and women of the EMS industry and the public they serve for over 2 decades. After transitioning from primarily patient-based emergency department nursing, she entered the world of EMS education for Chino Valley Fire in 2001, then Ontario Fire in 2006. In her position, she has developed many fire-based EMS training programs, improved patient-based outcomes through QI processes, and been an active member of the California Cal Chiefs, Nurses, and EMS Professionals Committee. Ensuring quality EMS education is shared and delivered throughout the state, Pamela developed and has directed the California EMS and Disaster Conference since 2007. She works tirelessly to ensure that the CFED offers the most focused, timely, and relevant EMS training delivered in our state on an annual basis. This yearly training ensures that literally thousands of pre-hospital EMS professionals, disaster, fire, and medical personnel receive exceptional education and training vital to the continual improvement of patient care, improvement of the EMS system delivering that care, as well as firefighter health and safety and disaster preparedness. Pamela has proven to the industry that she is the embodiment of a distinguished servant, and pre-hospital EMS is definitely a better place due to her contributions.
I would like to thank Director Bassnett and the EMS Authority for this award. I am honored to receive the Distinguished Service Medal. I have dedicated over 20 years of my career to fire-based EMS, and it has been very rewarding. I'd like to thank the California Fire Chiefs Association for supporting nurses in the fire service. I'd like to say thank you to the Ontario Fire Department for affording me this opportunity, and to my husband for his continued support.
Next up, we recognize Michael Patterson for many years of exemplary leadership and tireless commitment, impacting positive change in healthcare for the citizens of California. Able to work with local ambulance, fire departments, and competitive air ambulance companies, he has impacted positive changes to multiple California counties. His initiation of a time-sensitive emergency protocol has saved numerous lives with the rapid transit that has resulted in countless patients being discharged home to the welcoming arms of their loved ones. Patterson has made it his life's mission to advocate for patients, and as a vigilant leader, his impact has resonated throughout California. Thanks to his tireless commitment to patient care. Respected and revered by all who know him, Michael epitomizes the focus and lifelong pursuit of what a patient care advocate should be.
Hi, my name is Mike Patterson, and I just wanted to say what an honor it is to be nominated and accept the Distinguished Service Award Medal that the EMSA has granted me this year. Furthermore, I'd like to thank my family for being supportive, my wife Allison and kids, and all my amazing coworkers at Sierra Lifelight, Reach Air Medical, Global Medical Response. I really appreciate you all being there, and I couldn't do without you. Thank you so much.
Next, we'd like to recognize Victoria Panay of Sierra Sacramento Valley EMS Agency for over 30 years of dedication and effective leadership serving California EMS agencies, establishing requirements for local accreditation of trauma centers, and developing a multi-hospital STEMI system. Vicki has served 3 years at the Napa County EMS Agency and 27 years at the Sierra Sacramento Valley EMS Agency. Because of her effectiveness as a leader, the number of counties in the Joint Powers Agency increased from 5 to 10, and she led numerous EMS system improvements within the agency's counties as well as statewide. At the local level, Ms. Panay established requirements for the local accreditation of all trauma centers, developed and oversaw a multi-hospital STEMI system before it was a state requirement, and served as the RMHDS for Region 3, and actively participated in ambulance strike team programs. Her state-level accomplishments include actively participating in federal block grant prevention committee and the UC Davis EMSC project. She's managed the Sierra Sacramento EMS Agency's CHEMSIS project and serves as the MSAC treasurer and on their executive committee for a decade.
I'd like to thank Michael Petrie for nominating me for this award. I have spent most of my career in public service, 30 years in EMS. I continue to be impressed by the dedication of the EMS professionals I work with and everyone who works in the EMS world. I am humbled and honored to accept this medal.
Next to be recognized, and here's where I'm going to butcher my first name of the day, sorry, is Dr. Harold Renolette from the Sacramento Medical Reserve Corps, being recognized for, get ready, 66 years of dedication while providing EMS services, sharing his expertise and skills as a medical director and emergency department staff physician. Doctor has served as medical director and emergency department staff physician, sharing his expertise and skills at Sierra Sacramento Valley EMS Agency and NorCal EMS, Sutter Davis Hospital, and the UCD Medical Center. As a venomous snake and butt bite expert, he served as a consultant to the UC Davis Poison Center for 20 years. He helped people in remote areas get the medical care they needed through his work with the Angel Flight as a pilot. Doctor also has served as a member of the Sacramento Medical Reserve Corps since 2008. At the age of 93, he currently volunteers at a local food bank. So please join us in recognizing the good doctor.
I first became aware of EMS in 1972 when I attended a lecture where Alan Cranston was explaining his ideas of how they were going to improve the medical services. in not only California, but within the United States. I continue to be involved in EMS for the next 27 years. Hard to believe. I was also on committees at UC Davis, became the medical director of SSV EMS in 1975 under George Moorhead. And then in 1980, I became the medical director of NorCal EMS based in Redding, an 11-county group. In addition, I was on the CHP Commission, which established a helicopter program in Northern California. And I enjoyed my 27 years involved in EMS services.
Next up, we recognize Dan Smiley for over 30 years of expertise in medical planning, for international disaster exercises and commitment to the EMS industry while serving the state of California as Chief Deputy Director for the Emergency Medical Services Authority. From 1989 till 2019, Dan Smiley served in the state of California as Chief Deputy Director for EMS Authority. Dan shaped the strategic vision and advanced EMS for California for over 30 years, overseeing the policy, program, and regulatory aspects of the EMS systems, EMS certification, paramedic licensing and enforcement, disaster medical responses, and tactical EMS training standards. Since his direct patient care experience as a paramedic and paramedic instructor, Dan Smiley published articles on domestic and international disaster response, EMS systems, quality of care, trauma care, and automated defibrillation. He is also recognized for his expertise in medical planning for international disaster exercises. In retirement, he is both paramedic and captain for the Tennessee State Guard and volunteer firefighter.
Is the mic dead?
There.
Okay. Obviously I have to say something. After 31 years at EMSA, it was certainly a pleasure to be with the professionals that you all are that respond to calls every single day. And it's great coming back after retiring a couple of years ago and seeing my friends and the people that I've worked with. So I just want to, without belaboring the point, I just want to say that EMSA has done a great job in recognizing the professionals every single day, and I hope that this program is able to continue. Glad that it was able to restart after COVID-19, and it's an amazing opportunity to be here at the LA County Museum. Thank you very much for recognizing me.
After all these years, you think you know how this does it. I'm the one kind of trying to fill those shoes.
And next, we'd like to recognize Sean Trask for over 30 years of visionary leadership, making a tremendous and far-reaching impact while providing EMS services and advancing innovative policy initiatives. The vision and leadership of Sean Trask have moved forward many initiatives from the community paramedics to tactical medicine. His knowledge of EMS regulations and statutes was invaluable as he contributed much by way of his participation in the Commission on EMS. An outstanding mentor and colleague, Trask was an expert problem solver, able to interpret regulations, clarify and assist personnel questions, training, investigations, and policy development. Regarded as an outstanding professional, mentor, and colleague, his impact has been far-reaching as he has inspired those around him. Mr. Trask has taken up residency in Texas. He wishes us well.
Oh, hi. Sorry I can't make it to the award ceremony this year. So instead, I've created this really short video. I want to thank the EMS Authority and the nominating committee for selecting me to receive the Distinguished Services Award. This means so much to me, and I can't think of a better way to cap off my 43-year career in EMS. Thanks again, and congratulations to all the other awardees. So long.
Community Service Award recognizes an EMT who has made an outstanding commitment to non-patient care aspects of the community's EMS system. Special emphasis is on EMS public information, education, and relations. And while the two people being awarded actually weren't EMTs, they played them on television. Let's see if you recognize some of these. Squad 51, this is Rampart. Can you send me some EKG? How about Sergeant IB? Sergeant IB 51, D5W, TKO. Little trip down memory lane. We are presenting the Honorary Community Service Awards for Randy Mantooth and Kevin Tye, the 2 stars of the hit television show Emergency, for inspiring thousands of individuals to join the EMS workforce for 50 years. Today, they still advocate for our profession. Now joining us on stage to present this award is Assembly Member Freddie Rodriguez. Assembly Member Rodriguez. 2013, representing the 52nd Assembly District. Did you know that? Which encompasses portions of Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties. Born and raised in the city of Pomona, very nice city. Freddie has dedicated his life to serving his community. For over 30 years, he worked as an EMT in the San Gabriel Valley and was first elected to the Assembly during the 2013 special election. As an EMT, Assemblymember Rodriguez was awarded the California Star of Life Award for his outstanding community volunteer contributions and life-saving rescues. In 2005, he traveled to Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas to help victims of Hurricane Katrina and Rita. And in 2014, he was named the EMT of the Year by none other than the California Emergency Medical Services Authority. Assemblymember Rodriguez.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. I know Jennifer talked earlier about EMS Week. Really, this is your guys' week, our first responders. Just to let you know, Monday, yesterday, I introduced House Resolution 175 that proclaims this week as EMS Week in California. Obviously, just to give thanks for all the work you've done tirelessly day in and day out. And just looking at the awardees, all the things you guys done really makes me feel proud of being a first responder in California and living, and obviously being your advocate in Sacramento. So just say a few words once again, and thanks again for allowing me to say a few words on our special guest here. I wish he could be here, but it's okay, they're here in spirit. As you know, Kevin and Randolph's work on emergency TV inspired a generation of first responders and expedited the widespread adoption of emergency medical services throughout the country and the county. Undoubtedly, the work on emergency led to thousands of lives saved. In the early 1970s, hundreds of thousands of Americans were dying every year due to the lack of paramedic services. At that time, most of the country had no idea what medical services was, especially emergency medical services. In fact, in the 1960s, researchers estimated that upward of 1 million Americans experienced death or permanent disability due to sudden medical events or accidents. It was also estimated that as many 700,000 lives could have been saved by paramedics responding to cardiac emergencies. First aired in January 1972, the TV show brought emergency medical services into the mainstream. The scripted serial drama about John Gage and Roy DeSoto, portrayed by Kevin and Randolph, who worked as paramedics and firefighters in the Los Angeles County, brought the idea of paramedicine in the homes throughout the United States. Notably, the series' first episode began with an explanation of the California law that made EMS possible here, along with the plea to expand the availability of paramedic services. In this first episode, it also introduced CPR, defibrillators, and other life-saving techniques of the rest of the country, which this show also inspired me to become an EMT. I remember as a kid, probably 12, 13 years old, watching that show in my room at a small little 13-inch black and white TV, and I was like, wow, you know, look at these guys out here saving people's lives. So something that always stayed with me when I graduated from high school, went to EMT school here in California at Mount Sac in the city of Walnut. I don't know if you're familiar with that program down there. That was even before they had paramedic school. So it was a very unique opportunity to be there and learning how to save a life and providing care and treatment. I would also say, as I'm working as an EMT, a lot of my colleagues that I work with said they got inspired by the show as well. So you guys did a lot to inspire not only me, but another generation of lifesavers throughout this county and the state. So looking back, as I flew up here, I just flew up here from Sacramento an hour or two ago, I was thinking about the TV show, thinking about what we did, what I did back in the days in the early 80s, 90s. One of the first things I remember with our medics talking about during early morning radio checks in the morning, you always call the base station, right, to make sure you have good communication. The use of mask suits, I don't know if anybody remembers using a mask suit. It seemed like all the time, every call we went on, you got to put a mask suit. I'm like, wow, a mask suit really on this? But it was the way we did things. Also back then, I remember folks drawing blood, right? There was all these tubes of blood we needed to draw for the hospitals, right? I think it was a purple and a red tube or something like that. We used to strap it onto the IV bag as we got to the hospital. And one more thing I talked about on the show, I would show that segment where the firefighters in the openings have that Apple P50 and the flipping off the caps, right? And I remember working, a lot of guys would try to mimic that, right? Hey, Frank, does this look like Roy or Johnny on 51? And I'm, maybe not yet, but they tried. It just shows how invaluable what they did on the TV show inspired a lot of folks like you guys here and a lot of others to do what you do. So I just talked about paramedicine, right? Emergency response, disaster planning, and responding. But I think what they did led to other generations, as me being an EMT, taking my experiences of over 30 years to the State House. I think I'm the first elected EMT that's a California State Assembly member. But with that, I bring all of my valuable experiences over 30 years, the disasters I went through, the thousands of 911 calls that I went to, learning those experiences, bring to the State House to be your true advocate, not only for firefighters, police officers, paramedics, but our first responders. We're living in a very unique year with the pandemic after 2 years that really elevated what we do to a whole different level that I don't think we're never prepared for. But with that, seeing that the importance of having disaster planning and management in California, I was able to get a new committee started by the state legislature. I don't know if you know that it's very hard to start a new committee in California, but being that California is a very unique state, fires, floods, disasters, pandemics, we needed a new committee to oversee how we better plan and respond to emergencies in California. So I'm thankful for the leadership and the administration to create this new committee 2 years ago and name me as chair of the committee. One thing our committee oversees, the committee has oversight over Cal OES, Cal Fire, and Cal EMS. So working together with all those organizations and my experiences and my colleagues' experiences to make sure that your first responders have what's needed. And the fact that I have oversight over these areas, I can have hearings on some of the issues and concerns that affect you guys day in and day out. One of the most important things is wall times, right? I think you guys all know the importance of wall times and what's happened during this pandemic. And it just didn't happen because of the pandemic. It's been here decades before that. We're having oversight hearings of that, looking at things of that nature as well. And talking about my experiences, learning from them, some of the legislation that I passed, teaching kids CPR in high school. Doing better deals on better enforcement on wrong-way drivers, how we can address those issues. But I learned it because of them, right? Not only that inspire first responders, but me as a state legislature, thinking back when I was a kid, watching their shows and do what I do now, to still be the advocate for it in the State House here in the state of California. So with that, it's a pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, EMSA, and all you guys for all the work you do. Continue that fight, that struggle. Without you guys, our people in this state wouldn't have people coming out there responding and looking forward to your help, your caring, your transporting these patients, you're doing what's best for all of us in California. So with that, I know I got a flight to catch back in Sacramento because they only let me out for a few hours, I gotta go back. But nevertheless, it's a pleasure and honor to be here with you guys. Ever reach out to me in my office in Sacramento, if you're ever out there, please stop by. I'm here, your advocate. And don't ever think that you don't have support in Sacramento, because you do. I'm just one of the many that we have out there advocating for you guys day in and day out. And to Johnny Roy, thank you for what's 50 years of EMS services to the state. I don't think you really knew what you did by being those active portraying those firefighters, inspired all of us here and me in the State House advocating still for you guys to this day. So once again, thank you, and it's a pleasure and honor. Thank you.
Here we are, LA County Fire Museum. Where is everybody? We're honored by the State of California EMS Authority for their Community Service Award. Yes, we are. And we want to thank you for it, Kevin. Our office for 7 years. Feels like 50.
As a guest, we're going to meritorious service. Hey, I guess right, what do you know? Meritorious Service Medal recognizes an individual for meritorious act or service within EMS. This award also recognizes an EMT for an act that is above and beyond the call of duty in the course of a particular EMS emergency or event. Will Brian Peterman of Santa Barbara City Fire Department please come to the stage? For his selfless actions and concern for a citizen in need of help, Chief Peterman was on duty and driving from a meeting when he noticed a person sitting on the wall of a parking garage with their feet dangling off the roof in a suicide attempt. Immediately he ran over to ask if she was okay. When she said no, he asked if he could come and talk, and when she replied yes, he quickly went up the stairwell. He discreetly notified backup and made access to the roof, where he spent several minutes talking to her and then coaxing her off the ledge. He walked her down the stairs, where she was assessed by the Santa Barbara Police Department and transported to a hospital for behavioral health evaluation and treatment.
Hi, my name is Brian Fetterman, and I'm Operations Division Chief of the Santa Barbara City Fire Department. Thank you so much for sending me this award this year to join my fellow colleagues in the EMS system of the state of California. Truly a blessing.
Next is Andrew Fick of Inland Valley's Emergency Medical Agency. Please come and join us on the stage. Andrew is being recognized for acting quickly and showing exemplary patient care by administering something really long that I can't pronounce, but you all can. When responding to a child with facial swelling and okay, they're doctor now. Doctor. Of the face, neck, chest because of an allergic reaction. He and his crew were dispatched to a 3-year-old with an allergic reaction. Upon arrival at the scene, they were informed the child had a nut allergy and ate cashews. The patient developed facial swelling and neck, face, neck, and chest. That medicine was administered immediately. Andrew was notified by dispatch of an extended ambulance ETA due to the patient's status and potential deterioration. He talked with the hospital and parents about the delay, and a decision was made to transport the child POV with parents. Andrew rode in the vehicle with the father with a monitor and his medical gear and maintained medical control until transfer of care to the hospital. Okay, next up we have a group award. Will the following individuals please come to the stage? Allison Herman, Troy Keenan, Nicole Kuhn, and Tyler Lombard of Inland Medical Center. This group is being awarded for their incredible teamwork and extraordinary selflessness while rescuing passengers trapped in a crashed vehicle. Allison Herman, Troy Keenan, Nicole Kuhn, and Tyler Lombard from both the ground and air ambulances worked together to develop a plan to access, treat life-threatening injuries, extricate patients, and deliver them to the trauma center. Upon reaching the patient's vehicle located on an extremely steep mountainside, a team of 4 found 1 adult patient and 1 pediatric trauma patient with multiple finger amputations. Treatment plans were immediately created and acted on both patients, including spinal precautions, bleeding control, and pain management. Multiple rope rescue systems were required to be assembled, forcing crews to work together and transfer ropes while descending the mountain with the patients. These 4 providers were critical in assisting the correct assembly and safe utilization of these rope rescue systems. 2 patients were successfully carried down the mountainside and transported to UC Davis Medical Center, where both patients were admitted for traumatic injuries. These responders are shining examples of selfless, caring, high-quality individuals in EMS that come together as a team to create the best possible outcome for patients and our community.
Hello, my name is Nicole Kuhn. I was surprised to receive the Meritorious Service Award. However, I am humbled and honored to accept it today. I would like to thank my family and friends for supporting me in my career, and I'd also like to thank every member of the EMS and fire community who has taught me and helped me succeed as an EMT and as a new paramedic. Thank you.
Thank you, EMSA, for this award. It means a lot being recognized, going above and beyond on a call. First, I'd like to thank the crew members that were on the scene. We wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys. And also like to thank Enlo for the opportunity to work for them. Thank you again.
Next, will Brian O'Rourke please come to the stage? We recognize Brian for his rope and selfless action, swimming into a cave and safely extracting 3 citizens while responding to a water rescue at Newport Beach. Along with members of Newport Beach Fire Department, Keith Peterberg, Drew Copper, and Adam Novik all went with minimal information prepared for a cliff or ocean rescue. After a size-up and risk assessment, Captain Novak sent Engineer Hedenberg and firefighter-paramedic Ford into the ocean to make contact, assess, and rescue the trapped victims. Hedenberg and Ford entered the water and swam 100 yards through the rock and surf. They soon reported that 3 females were trapped in a cave. Although it was tough to do so due to the conditions and to the inability to communicate directly, they worked as a team. Ford had 1 fin and a rescue buoy, and he placed around the first victim. He extracted her by walking her over the jagged rocks and then swimming her to the main beach. Once Newport Beach lifeguard Brian O'Rourke arrived on the scene, he swam over and immediately entered the cave. He attached his rescue buoy to the second victim and swam her to an awaiting paddle boat that Ford paddled safely back to the beach. Hedenberg handed the rescue buoy to O'Rourke, and he then extracted the 3rd victim from the cave. As O'Rourke, Hedenberg, Ford, and the 3rd victim were leaving the cave, they encountered a large set of waves. They were able to make it under the waves and extract the 3rd victim safely while sustaining cuts from the rocks. The victims were treated for cuts and scratches from the rocks, mild water inhalation injuries, anxiety, and cool temperatures. is Jeremy Sample of Butte County EMS. Jeremy is being recognized for his quick thinking and situational awareness while helping restrain a handcuffed patient who had run into oncoming traffic, narrowly avoiding a collision. Responding to a call, EMT Jeremy Sample arrived to find multiple law enforcement units out with a handcuffed patient on the side of the highway. After stating she was going to run into traffic, the patient immediately proceeded to run into a lane of oncoming highway traffic. Showing excellent situational awareness, Jeremy dropped his equipment, ran, and was able to grab her and pull her out of the traffic, narrowly avoiding a collision that could have resulted in major injury or death to the patient. After she was safely restrained, Jeremy was able to return to clinician mode and assist in caring for the patient. His actions prevented a possible tragic outcome. Life-saving medal recognizes an EMS provider who, while on an off-duty or volunteer capacity, makes an extremely noteworthy contribution to efforts that result in the saving of a life. Will Eusebia Aragon of American Medical Response please come on down? Noticing them choking in the food court and quickly performing the Heimlich maneuver, clearing the airway of the coworker and saving their life. Eusebia is a part-time employee of AMR Stanislaus County. She also works at Costco. And on her first day with Costco during her lunch break, she noticed another Costco employee choking in the food court of the facility. Eusebia went to the Costco associate and performed the Heimlich maneuver, clearing the airway of the Costco associate, thus saving the employee's life.
Hi, my name is Eusebia Aragon. I have been working for AMR Stanislaus County for the last 23 years. I'm very thankful that you guys selected me for the Life Saving Medal Award. I'm very thankful for that and humble. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Will Brian Basso of Oxnard Fire Department, Jared Neal of Oakland Fire Department, and Tom Schwelhelm from the Morago Coronado Fire Protection District please join us on stage? A 10-year-old found unresponsive in a hotel swimming pool. While assigned to help with the Dixie Fire and the off-duty recovery day, paramedics Brian Basso, Jared Neal, and Tom Schwelhelm heard a mother's screams from the hotel swimming pool. They immediately went to help. Soon after, they discovered the woman's son was unresponsive in the pool and not breathing without pulse. Although they were off-duty, they jumped into action and began performing CPR. The life-saving measures were successful, and they resuscitated the boy before he was transported to the hospital.
Hi, my name is Brian Basso with Oxnard Fire. I'd like to thank EMSA for receiving the Life Saving Medal Award. I appreciate the acknowledgement very much, and thank you.
I'm honored to be accepting this award, but I'd also like to recognize the other 24 paramedics that were also on this scene. We couldn't have done this without them. Thank you.
Next, let's have Pat Owens of Inlow Medical Center come on down. For selfless actions and effort by communicating and coordinating necessary resources to assist with patient care at the scene of a head-on collision. Pat Owens was on his way back to work, but after seeing a few vehicles ahead of him involved in a head-on collision, he stopped his car, changed into his uniform, and assisted local agencies with patient care. His early reports and communication with others made it possible to coordinate the resources needed. Pat also assisted the volunteer fire department with patient care and was able to deliver supplies to the patients. Once the scene was stabilized and the 3 surviving patients were transported, he left for his regularly scheduled EMT shift in Williams, California. It was a difficult situation with multiple boundaries, however, Pat made a significant positive difference while off duty. Will Kyle Pedretti and Angelina Taneco of Inlow Medical Center please come to the stage? For immediately providing life-saving aid upon noticing an accident between a vehicle and a motorcycle. To successfully apply the tourniquet to stop the bleeding of a patient who had sustained a below-knee amputation. While off duty, Angelina and Kyle were driving through Fremont when they noticed the road ahead an accident between a vehicle and a motorcycle. Through a rapid assessment, they found that the motorcycle rider had sustained a below-knee amputation and was losing blood quickly. Within minutes, they applied a tourniquet to successfully stop the hemorrhage and provide vital stabilization of the patient's cervical spine before assistance arrived on the scene. Once the fire department arrived, the crew helped move the patient to a gurney and then on to be transported to the hospital.
All right, thank you everyone. It is an honor to receive this award. There are a couple of people I want to thank. First and foremost, my parents for always supporting me, my sister for pushing me to pursue a career in EMS, my EMS role models, Julia De Jesus and Sean Rogers, and my partner on the rig for life, Angelina Tinoco. Without all of you, I would not be here today, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you and this award.
Will Andrew Watkins of CAL FIRE in Monte Vista Unit, San Diego County, please join us on the stage? Andrew is being recognized for his heroism and bravery by immediately rushing and pulling to safety a citizen hanging from outside the railing of the Pine Valley Bridge in a suicide attempt. Driving to report for duty at the San Diego County Fire Station in the community of Pine Valley, Andrew encountered a critical situation. Immediately, Watkins pulled over his vehicle to the side and rushed to grab a female. With the Border Patrol agent and a civilian in the free, were able to get her onto the bridge and to safety. We congratulate these dedicated individuals committed to saving lives regardless of whether they are on or off duty. Next up is the Inter-Service EMS Recognition Medal. This recognizes outstanding heroism, extraordinary service, or achievement by non-EMTs, such as police officers, firefighters, lifeguards, dispatchers, and other public or private safety officers for outstanding or exceptional support of a particular EMS emergency event or operation. First, we honor Valentino Aguirre of the Yuba County Sheriff's Department. If you're present, please come to the stage. Officer Aguirre responded to a medical aid call. A 1-year-old boy was found unconscious and not breathing. Deputy Aguirre performed emergency CPR on the infant for nearly 2 minutes. Aguirre did back thrusts on the baby and placed him on his stomach at an angle on his knee to clear the airway. He then swiped the baby child's mouth to make sure there was nothing stuck. He continued to do back pats, and after a while he was able to get the baby breathing again prior to the arrival of paramedics. Thankfully, the baby recovered fully, and Aguirre was awarded the Bronze Medal of Merit by the Yuba County Sheriff's Department. One When he has experience, that's his baby back there. Next will Officers Victor Avila, Christopher Reed, and Michael Roberson from the San Jose Police Department come to the stage. These three officers responded quickly to a report of a fire and explosion at an apartment complex. At some point after escaping the burning building, the patient suffered a massive heart attack. Once the officers encountered the unresponsive woman, they put her on a gurney and started doing chest compressions, which continued for 5 minutes. Thanks to the officers' quick actions, the patient had a pulse by the time she was being loaded into the ambulance. Joining us next on stage is John Brock from the Hawthorne Police Department. John Brock was the scene of a man in his car with shallow breathing and eyes rolling back in his head. It appeared that he had died, but upon further assessment, it was determined that he had a pulse and may have suffered an overdose. Brock deployed 2 doses of naloxone, which resulted in the patient slowly waking up and breathing normally. If he had not initiated care in critical minutes before the fire department medics arrived, the patient would have had a brain injury. Next, will Officers Jed Cato and Casey Ramstead from the California Highway Patrol West Valley come to the stage. For heroic life-saving actions responding to a 911 call about a choking baby inside a minivan, Officer Ramstead held his hand near the baby's face to feel for any airflow while Officer Cato directed traffic. Since Ramstead didn't hear the baby breathing, he started the Heimlich maneuver for infants, giving the baby 6 back slaps to clear his airway. On the 6th and final tap, he heard the baby respond. Both officers waited with the family until Los Angeles Police fire paramedics arrived. Joining us next on stage is Dan Garcia from the Mountain Valley Police Department for his quick thinking and life-saving actions which saved the life of a choking infant. Upon hearing a dispatch about an incident, Officer Garcia, who happened to be across the street, ran over to the restaurant. He found a weeks-old baby not breathing nor moving. He began performing CPR using chest compressions for several minutes, as the boy began breathing again. Mountain View fire personnel soon arrived on the scene and conducted follow-up medical care, ultimately transporting the infant to the hospital. He has since been released and is back home with his family. Next, will Officer Ryan Higgins of the Fremont Police Department come to the stage. While responding with a gunshot wound to the head, Officer Higgins was one of the first officers to the incident and immediately began appropriate treatment to the patient, which included attempts to stop the bleeding, airway protection, and ventilation. These initial interventions led to ongoing treatments by fellow EMS providers. Higgins initiated care helped minimize any secondary injuries and significantly contributed to the ongoing treatment. The patient was taken to the operating room, and although the bullet damaged the right side of his brain, he was able to retain movement in his left side. He was then discharged for an ongoing care facility for rehabilitation.
Hello, I'm Officer Ryan Higgins with the Fremont Police Department. I'm greatly honored to be receiving this award, knowing that there are so many first responders doing amazing work every day. I feel privileged to be able to serve my community, not only as a police officer, but also as a California certified EMT basic. I'd like to thank my fellow colleagues and the Fremont Police Department for their ongoing support and providing me the opportunities to further my professional development. Additionally, I'd like to thank the California EMS Authority for presenting me with this award. I am truly humbled.
For our last inter-service EMS recognition medals, will Jennifer McHugh of the Elk Grove Police Department and Jay Seiko of the Rancho Cordova Police Department come forward? No, they won't. For saving a woman's life after she was ejected from her vehicle in a car crash. Officer Seiko was off duty when a red car drove past it and lost control before hydroplaning into oncoming traffic, and then it was struck by an SUV. Seiko pulled over, ran to the car, and then noticed the woman was not in there, but instead lying on the ground. He noticed there was no pulse, and as he began CPR, Elk Grove Police Officer Jennifer McHugh ran up. McHugh, also off duty, identified herself and then began to help by stabilizing the patient. After 4 to 5 minutes of nonstop CPR, McHugh said they got a pulse. The woman survived and 2 days later was recovering in the hospital. I want to take a moment to congratulate all of these marvelous people. And now we get to what is kind of my favorite category. This is the Civilian Award for EMS. Average people like me. This recognizes non-certified, non-healthcare provider who provides extraordinary service during the course of an EMS emergency. Awards based relatively upon the degree of patient outcome, extreme conditions, or extraordinary circumstances. Jonathan Pike of Danville, please come to the stage. Rushed up to the front desk saying there was a problem at the pool. Jonathan went immediately to the pool, and after seeing that a young boy was at the bottom motionless, he dove in. He got him out of the pool with the help of another man and then began resuscitation efforts. Once they rolled the 12-year-old onto his side, water began to pour out, and he opened his eyes and began to breathe. Others nearby brought warm towels, and a few minutes later, Mariposa County Fire arrived at the scene. Because the fight acted immediately, the young boy was rescued and has since recovered.
So this award means more to me than you know, because it was totally unexpected. I didn't apply for it. I didn't know I was in the running. All I know is that I happened upon a child who was going to die at the bottom of a pool. And I thought about what my friends in the field, in their rigs, would have done and do every day. Those friends are used to me asking tons of questions and talking way too much, clearly. But from their answers, I've learned by osmosis, and I had some idea of what to do. Most of all, it was to act, not to wait. A wise friend said that it's better to ask the what-ifs of yourself after the child has been discharged. So I did precisely what you would have done, precisely what I'd seen my mother do many times when I was younger. More than once, I remember her springing into action at the scene of a healthcare emergency. So thank you for teaching me, and thank you for the honor of this moment. I'll never forget this one either.
Our next recipient is Araceli Gibson of Fresno. Please join us on the stage. Facility inspection. Gibson was setting up to begin the inspection process. The facility's licensee, Tanya, was there with three daycare children and her 2 children. As Tanya had gone into a different room in her home, Gibson asked her daughter to get her mom. She heard the daughter scream and then called out to her, and She found the mother was unconscious. Gibson called 911, and they guided her in performing CPR, which she continued for 8 minutes until paramedics arrived. Once police arrived, she helped to contact and arrange pickup for the daycare children. In the midst of this emergency, Gibson exhibited incredible bravery and compassion for all those around her.
Hi, my name is Araceli Gibson. I'm a licensing program analyst, also known as an LPA, for the California Department of Social Services. In short, I conduct inspections for daycare centers and daycare homes. From time to time, we do encounter unexpected situations. I found myself performing CPR in an emergency until paramedics arrived in early November. I want to thank you for the honor of being nominated and also for receiving the Civilian Award. Thank you.
Would John Poimeru, Elrod Hills, please come down? While riding his bike near Lake Natoma, his riding companion pulled up beside him and suddenly collapsed, becoming non-responsive. As his friend lay flat with no pulse, John instructed riders passing by to call 911, and he immediately began CPR. He kept up the CPR for 15 minutes until paramedics arrived. After paramedics took over, they confirmed that his quick thinking and heroic actions saved his friend's life.
As a member of the American River Bike Patrol, I thank California EMS for recognizing the life-saving efforts of mountain and urban units of the National Bike Patrol, an element of the National Ski Patrol.
Jennifer Sierra of Chico, please come to the stage. While visiting her sister, Jennifer heard what she thought were gunshots. As she ran outside to see what was happening, she found a giant oak tree limb had broken and fallen to the ground. Then she saw one boy dazed and staggering, holding his hand to his head with blood pouring down his arm, and a second boy pinned against the fence by the large branch. She held tight pressure on the first boy's scalp while calling 911 and sent a jogger running to get the other boy out from under the tree. If not for her quick thinking, the young man could easily have bled to death before the ambulance arrived.
I would like to thank EMSA for granting me the Civilian Award. I am honored and humbled for the recognition. I also would like to thank Rita, Christian, Neil Klein, and Dr. Carter for the nomination. I also would like to thank Inlow Hospital and their amazing trauma doctors, as well as all the staff that was involved for the excellent care that they provided Brian. I believe this award should go to Brian for his bravery and his successful recovery. I am truly honored to be accepting this award. Thank you.
Our next recipient is Andrea Toll of Seal Beach. Please join us on stage. Toll ran over to help her friend who was experiencing a seizure with erratic breathing and then fell onto the floor and hit his head, immediately initiating 4 rounds of CPR and administering an AED shock. As he gasped for breath, she shouted for someone to call 911 and bring her a blanket and first aid kit. She checked for a pulse and then decided to do CPR. Her and another person continued CPR for 4 rounds and then administered the AED shock on his chest until Orange County Fire and Rescue arrived. Thanks to Andrea's amazing response, her friend has been released from the hospital and has returned back to work.
Thank you so much for this award and for the consideration. I would like to say that it's all in a day's work, but we all know that this isn't necessarily something that we'd like to have happen to us every day. But I'm grateful for my training, so thank you so much.
Would Stephen Wilson of San Francisco please come down? For his selflessness, say that 7 times fast. For his selflessness, responding immediately by pulling over his car and monitoring the vital signs of a cyclist who had crashed, hit his head, and lay motionless. Stephen pulled over his car to help the cyclist while his wife called 911. He knew exactly what to do until the ambulance arrived, monitoring the man's vital signs and keeping him still while in the recovery position.
Stephen Wilson, San Francisco, California. I wholeheartedly appreciate the recognition from the California EMS Authority, and more importantly appreciate the hard work from dedicated professionals who keep Californians safe and secure on a daily basis. A special thank you to my mother, who worked her entire career as a registered nurse and taught me at an early age how important it is to know first aid, that for caring for one another never gets old. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
And now we get to the big ones. We have arrived at what we call the Big Four. These are our Of the Year awards. The EMT of the Year award. To assist us in presenting this year's EMT award from our sponsors AMR GMR, please welcome to the stage Sean Russell, GMR President of the Pacific Region. One EMT2 or EMT paramedic who is exemplary in their quality of patient care and or dedication to their community. You want to read it? Go ahead. Okay. April Grohl of Santa Clara from the American Medical Response Santa Clara, please come forward. Serving as the president of her local union, as well as being a founding member of No Woman Left Behind, a sexual assault prevention program, we recognize April. April was awarded the Medal of Valor in 2007 by the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department for her courageous actions in intervening in a potential rape. She also was a founding member of No Woman Left Behind, a bystander intervention program that educates communities about sexual assault. As an EMT with AMR Santa Clara County, April was a field training officer from 2018 to 2020. She currently assists with deployment and mentoring and works on her days off when she knows her peers need help. When her company lost one of their supervisors, she assisted with organizing and helping develop and process for the Inventory, Supply, and Support Services Department, and she assisted with the manual scheduling process. In 2018, April was the shop steward of her local union and has recently been appointed as their president. Always encouraging her colleagues to be better, do better, and create a better working environment, she shows up with a smile everywhere she is needed, no matter how tough the day is. She embodies the essence of who we are as first responders, a light and joy and role model who has a tremendous impact by passing on to others her passion and love of the job. It is a privilege to name April the 2021 EMT of the Year.
You don't have to come up and talk. I'll talk for you. I'm so proud to be here, and it's such an honor to recognize such a great person in April and all that she does. We had a chance to talk to her family and some of her loved ones, and I'll just share a couple quick things about April.
it seems that she was destined to have a career in emergency medicine. Her dad told us that when she was 8 years old, that she fell in love with riding go-karts. And she fell in love with the fact that she could drive with purpose. And so we thought about that, fast forward with all the great skills that she has acquired over the years, and applied those driving with purpose, and became working for us on the ambulance. April is known by her team player as a team player and a natural leader. When she was told that she was selected for this award, she immediately did one. She said there's so many other people that's more deserving than her, typical of many EMS workers out there. What we heard from her partners was that she was most deserving. She was described as a great partner, a great leader, and an overall great human being. And I'll add to the list a future mother. She's often described as thoughtful, empathetic, protective, unbiased, forgiving, and with an easy disposition. In talking to her partner, John Campbell, he described her and summed up with a comment that paramedics often save patients, and while EMTs also save lives, the good ones save paramedics, and she does this on a daily basis. Thank you, April.
Okay, next on our list is the EMS Educator of the Year Award. Now to lend us a hand in presenting the next award from our sponsors, CareStar and the California Paramedic Foundation via the California Healthcare Foundation. I've already been joined by John Earhart, Director of the California Paramedic Foundation, and Tanir Hamid, the Chief Executive Officer of the CareStar Foundation. The EMS Educator of the Year Award honors an EMS educator who excels as a teacher or who has made a significant contribution to the EMS education program in the state. Jane Smith of San Francisco from the California Rescue Paramedic Association is just such an individual. We recognize Jane for 37 years of consistent dedication to education, training, strategic planning, budget management, and improving emergency medical services as a paramedic, educator, and former California EMS Commissioner representing the California Rescue Paramedic Association. Jane is a paramedic and a former California EMS Commissioner representing, and has worked in the field paramedic dispatch and a dispatch captain and EMS chief of the San Francisco Fire Department, where her responsibilities included education and training, strategic planning, and budget management. Smith has been a faculty member of the American Heart Association and has taught for 10 years as a tenured teacher with her regional community college. Since retiring, she has been actively involved as a member of the Board of Directors of the CareStar Foundation, as well as a member of the Board of Directors of the California Paramedic Foundation. And so, for her passionate service to the students of emergency medicine at all levels and advancement of EMS education in the state, we recognize Jane Smith as this year's EMS Educator of the Year.
I am so honored, grateful, and humbled to be the recipient of this award. As we know, EMS is a team profession, and I must really share this award with all of the incredible people that I have worked with last year, including those with EMSA, CareStar, Paramedic Foundation, Paramedic Association, and mainly my fellow educators. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, Jane Smith couldn't be here today. She very, very much wanted to be. She lives and breathes EMS, so she wanted to send her regards. Tanir and I will be accepting the award on her behalf for both of our teams that she works on, and we'll make sure that she gets that. We do want to say a few remarks to further acknowledge her. Jane's worked in EMS for decades, and we wouldn't be here without her. She's an absolutely wonderful paramedic. She's an excellent educator. She is a die-hard advocate. When people ask her what she does after all the hats she wears, she says, "I'm a paramedic," and I love that. So I think I can say for our team, at least I'll speak for the foundation side. Jane, we love you. You are an incredible energy source for our industry in California, and we just appreciate your work. So congratulations on your award. It's very well deserved. And
Thank you. Yeah, John said it beautifully. On behalf of the CareStar Foundation, for those of you who are aware, we've been a foundation now for about 3 or 4 years. Jane joined the board almost immediately after our founding. And we are focused on helping to fund the improvements and transformations in pre-hospital care, emergency care, specifically with a racial equity lens. And Jane's really devoted herself and becoming deeply passionate about our work, and we're just really indebted to her service. Jane also wanted to just give a few shout outs and thank yous, particularly to you, Jennifer, for all of your years of friendship and dedication to her, to Dan Smiley, she wanted us to point you out as well, and to Dr. Becker for all of his support for many, many years of being devoted to this work. She is deeply passionate about it, as Tom said. Thank you so much.
Next up is the EMS Medical Director of the Year Award. This award honors a physician who serves or has served as EMS system for providing medical direction online or offline and who has served with distinction. Will Dr. John Brown, San Francisco, from the San Francisco County EMS, please join us on stage to accept this award. For 25 years, Dr. Brown has been a dedicated teacher and visionary leader serving with passion and integrity, championing innovative programs such as the San Francisco Sobering Center, community paramedicine, high-fidelity simulations, and interdisciplinary collaborations. He has served in many leadership positions, including San Francisco EMS Agency Medical Director, Associate Clinical Professor of Emergency Medicine at the University of California, and attending physician at San Francisco General Hospital and Trauma Center. He has championed innovative programs such as the San Francisco Sobering Program, community, and high-fidelity simulations. Colleagues feel he is an incredible mentor and exemplification of humility and service, always making time to teach anyone interested in what he has to share about EMS. We are honored to present Dr. Brown with the EMS Medical Director of the Year.
Thank you for this wonderful award. It's been my privilege to be the medical director for the San Francisco EMS Agency since 1996 and a member of the EMS Medical Directors Association of California since 1993, when I joined as what we now call an associate member as the medical director for the U.S. Navy's EMS system in San Diego. When I did my EMS fellowship at the University of Arizona in the early 1990s, I was motivated by one of my mentors who said, "We spent billions of dollars on pre-hospital care, and yet only 5% of what we were doing was shown to be of benefit to our patients." In the 30 years since then, our EMS providers, teachers, researchers, and leaders have made enormous strides to improve our care. I'm not willing to say that we've arrived at our goal of as close to 100% effectiveness of our demanding and rewarding work, but our progress is constant and our vision unwavering. I want to specifically thank the providers that I've been fortunate to work with in San Francisco and salute the bravery and sacrifice of the providers across the state that I've been fortunate to meet during our work on this recent pandemic and in so many other disaster responses to our recurring wildfires, increasing opioid epidemic, and our systems-based care for patients experiencing homelessness. I hope to continue to support, encourage, and nurture our future generations of providers, and I wish all the awardees this year a hearty congratulations. Congratulations to the awardees and best wishes to all for a great EMS week.
When we come to the EMS Administrator of the Year Award, this award honors the EMS system administrator who has distinguished themselves through a noteworthy contribution to local, regional, or to the statewide EMS system. It sounds like Steve Carroll of the Ventura County EMS. For 30 years of public service, a solid commitment to high-quality patient care and outstanding leadership based on his unwavering core values, establishing goals, priorities, standards, and quality assurance for emergency medical service systems. Steve Carroll began his journey serving the residents of Ventura County as an ambulance-based paramedic in 1989. In 2002, he became the Deputy Administrator, and in 2009 he was promoted to Administrator of the county's EMS system. The highly efficient Ventura County EMS system of today is a reflection of his outstanding leadership, which is based on unwavering core values, including a strong commitment to equity and placement of service before self. As an EMS Administrator and Medical and Health Operations Area Coordinator, Mohawk, he led the county's medical health response, guarded the well-being of first responders, and assured access to the community, to vital and essential healthcare services. He acts in an advisory capacity to the California Emergency Medical Services Authority and to the State Commission on Emergency Medical Services in establishing goals, priorities, standards, and quality assurance for emergency medical services systems. Steve has served several terms as MSAC Secretary and has also consistently participated as a member of the Disaster Operations, Conference Planning, and Audit Committees. He is currently MSAC's liaison to the Southern California Local EMS Agency Coordinators Committee. We recognize Steve Carroll as the EMS Administrator of the Year.
Hello, I'm Steve Carroll, EMS Administrator for the County of Ventura. The past few years have been difficult for all of us, but I've been fortunate to work among the best team members and colleagues who have continued to prioritize patient care as we navigate these challenging times. I'm humbled and honored to be selected as the Emergency Medical Service Administrator of the Year for 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll keep it very short because I know we're running late. So this was obviously a shock, and very humbled and honored to be even nominated and then of course being selected. So thank you very much, and thank you for everybody that's in EMS that this is our week, and for everybody that what you do out there makes a difference. So thank you very much, and thank you for this great presentation today. Let's call it a day.
Let me follow my other thing and I'll speed read through the rest of it. Thank you all very much. Congratulations to all the 2021 EMS Award recipients. Again, thanks to Dr. Uner for partnering with the EMS Authority to make this event possible. Thank you again to all of our wonderful sponsors. Special thank yous go out to Deputy Director Jennifer Lim, Dana, how do you pronounce your last name? I butchered so many. Hey, Schumer. Zoe Jones, Veronica Stratowski, Leslie Whitney, Angela White, and Tom and Julie McGinnis for ensuring the success of today's event. Yes, please don't forget anything, your medals, your cell phones, your coats. And we do ask all award recipients come to the stage for one last group picture. Tallest person in the back, please. Thank you for coming. Best of health to all of you and your families. Have a wonderful day.